I would like to thank the administration and the community of the Ateneo de Manila University, San Jose Seminary, Loyola House of Studies, and Loyola School of Theology for organizing this Thanksgiving liturgy. It's a way of coming back home. It's a way of reconnecting with one's roots. This morning I was with some CICM fathers who were my mentors in the elementary and high school. And I met the school director of St. Andrew's, Parañaque when I was in grade 4. And now I look around and I still see familiar faces. The person working in the admissions office, when I started here, it was Father Mamulagnan. I think he's here. So you can date him. And the dean of the college then was Father Nebres. He was here a few minutes ago. And of course, in Loyola House of Studies, there was already a certain Filipina Asiatico who's now there, retired. And some members of the community here of Loyola Heights, Mrs. Ignacio, nandiyan pa rin sila hanggang ngayon. Then my former professors, but I also see now former students, now ordained, and who have taken up responsibilities or positions of responsibilities both in the university and in the seminary. I would like to thank our bishop here in Cubao, an Atenean himself, Bishop Honesto Antioco from San Jose Seminary too, for allowing me to use the symbols of the episcopal office within his jurisdiction. So I bow before him. And in spite of the traffic, we have another Josefino and Atenean bishop here with us, Bishop Pablo David, the auxiliary bishop of San Fernando, Pampanga, with us. I saw a Jesuit Atenean Archbishop Tony Ledesma somewhere. Oh, up there. Tumingin naman. Nagtingin lang. So we recall the many priests and bishops that the Jesuits have produced. We are still waiting for Cardinal Gaudencio Rosales, himself a product of San Jose Seminary, and so very much formed by the Jesuits. So the seminary, Loyola School of Theology, and the Ateneo de Manila. And whoever planned this Thanksgiving liturgy chose the right date, the vigil for the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. Aside from our common devotion to Our Lady, because of the solemnity, I am wearing blue. Imagine if this were in ordinary time, I would be wearing green, and you would not want that. So even the choice of the days, I think, was really timed so that the vestments would be Ateneo. The Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the gracing of Mary. Mary was given a special grace in view of her mission, in view of her vocation, to be the bearer of the Son of the God Most High. But this Son of the God Most High will have to be born within the family of David. and his kingdom will have no end. And this woman was given a special grace, what we call her being preserved from sin, from the moment of her conception until the end of her earthly life. Today we commemorate her conception in the womb of her mother, Saint Anne, December the 8th. She was conceived December the 8th. When will she be born? September 8th, 9 months later, the Nativity of Our Lady. But she will remain immaculate. And why did God give her this special grace? Because of her mission to be the new Eve, as the first Eve became the mother of the living within this wonderful garden of life. This new Eve, who will be the mother of the new Adam, who will be the bringer of a new creation, and therefore will be the mother of us all. She would also be pure. But let us reflect, using the gospel primarily, on this vocation, mission of Mary, by which she was graced by God. The angel Gabriel approached Mary in her home in Nazareth. Nazareth, can anything good come from Nazareth? In the fullness of time, God chose a simple town, maligned, not appreciated, especially by the city dwellers. If you come from Canaan, the big city, you will look down on Nazareth with a bit of jealousy. How come the Messiah will come from Nazareth and not from Canaan? Well, God chose Nazareth and a woman. And the greeting of the angel, in a way, captures for us what it means for Mary to receive this singular grace in view of her son's death and resurrection. Hail. They say it's better translated as rejoice. Rejoice, Mary. The greeting is one of rejoicing, an invitation to joy. Why? Because something good will happen. Because God will fulfill His promise. And all the powers of this world will cease to rule. The true power that comes from God will come in human form, and it will be permanent. Rejoice, Mary. You, like daughter Zion, you, Mary, will receive firsthand the unfolding of the promise of God, the fulfillment of the promise of God. You will be the first to rejoice among your people. Oh, Mary, rejoice. Please look happy. Rejoice. Rejoice. But then it is followed by something surprising. The prayer that has been handed on to us as Hail Mary. But in the original text, it is not Hail Mary. It is rejoice, full of grace. As though her name was full of grace. Almost the equivalent of Mary, full of grace. You know, looking at this, I remember how in in the provinces, in the old towns, in the barangays, people are given the equivalent of their names. Well, like for example, they ask you, who is your grandfather? They'll say, are you saying Salvador? Salvador who? Salvador Bacal. That means kuripon. So they are known that way. Here, the equivalent of the name Mary is the one who is full of grace. Wow! You are truly blessed. Mary must have trembled before this to be told that she had another name, full of grace. And the angel calls her by that name, full of grace. And because you are full of grace, you will be the source of blessing also, or at least the conduit of grace or blessing to so many people. So rejoice, you who are full of grace. And then the Lord is with you. The Lord is grace. Grace, after all, is not about things, but about God, who fills us, who is present to us. But this is also an assurance to Mary. The Lord is present to you. The Lord will help you. The Lord will assist you. The angel Gabriel is wise. The first statement wraps up Mary, rejoice, full of grace. And then comes the assurance, the Lord will help you. So Mary was greatly troubled. But instead of running away, she pondered what sort of greeting this might be. She was overwhelmed by what she was hearing, overwhelmed by the greeting of this messenger of God, overwhelmed by the invitation to rejoice. A promise is coming. Overwhelmed by the description of herself as full of grace, yet also probably overwhelmed by the warning, don't worry, the Lord will help you. What will come? Should I rejoice? Why am I being told? Why am I being assured that the Lord will help me? Help me in what? So rejoicing leads to ponder. To pondering. And this is not the first time Mary will ponder many things. Things that she did not understand. Mysteries that were beyond her. But as someone filled with grace and invited to rejoice and assured that God will help her, she keeps all of these things in her heart. Then the mission is given. You will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you will name him Jesus. God saves. Your son will be great, the Son of the Most High. So her mission is fully directed towards Jesus. The Jesus who will become flesh in her. This will be a blessing, but this will also mean that the whole future for her, according to God's plan, will be filled with mystery for her. Mary, a courageous, daring, and intelligent woman, was unfazed before the angel. May I ask you, if you are visited by an angel, what would you do? I would have run away. If the angel tells me, rejoice, full of grace, get out. Or I would have run away. Stop. I would have said, stop. Whatever you are planning to tell me, don't continue. Stop there. Or I would just have collapsed in fear. Imagine seeing an angel. But look at the strength of Mary and the intelligence of Mary. She asked the right question. If it means that I would become a mother, then how could that be? Since I don't have a husband, how can I be a mother if I don't know man? But it was also an expression of her admission, of her incapacity. Yes, I want to be able to do it, but how? Tell me how. I cannot do it alone. I don't have a husband. And then the assurance comes. Don't worry, Mary. It is by the power of God in the Holy Spirit. Then Mary said, behold, I am the servant of the Lord. According to those who have studied scriptures, the term servant of the Lord was used of Moses, of Joshua, even of David. But the only woman in scriptures called the servant of the Lord is Mary. Mary. But at that point, she put herself at the disposal of God and God's plan, not for her alone, but for Israel and for all of us. Thanks to her, thanks to her faith, thanks to her courage, the plan of God has become real. Then the angel left her. Pope Benedict says, at that point, Mary would have to face everything by relying on God, on the Word of God. Angels do not come to you every day. Angels come and then they depart. And you face your mission, believing that the Lord is with you. And Mary had to hold on to that faith in many moments of her life when angels were not present. The moment her son left her for mission, when her son was arrested and dragged through the whole city to be humiliated publicly, when she stood at the foot of the cross of her son, hanging there as a criminal, no angel came to say, rejoice. No assuring angel came to say, you are truly blessed. But the words of the angel must have taken root in her heart. The Lord is with you. the Lord will assist you. This is our mother, the purity of her heart, enabling her to be a woman of faith and courage, a woman available for the fulfillment of God's plan. And according to St. Paul, in the second reading, in his letter to the Ephesians, while we are not equal to Mary, we are also blessed by God. We have received every spiritual blessing in the heavens. And like Mary, we have been chosen by God before the foundations of the world. We have been destined for adoption through Jesus Christ. We have been chosen like Mary, so that through us, God could accomplish His design. So that through us, the purpose of the one who accomplishes all things would happen. We are not on the same level as Mary, but Mary is the model of the church. If she was asked to rejoice at her blessing and assured that the Lord will help her in her mission, we also are asked to rejoice. We have been blessed, but we have to perform our mission in life. We have to discover the purpose that God has for us, the way Mary received the purpose that the Father had for her, to be the mother of the Savior. So, our celebration of the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception does not lead us to a limited devotion to one person, to Mary, blessed by God. It leads us also to a rediscovery of how we have been blessed, how we have a purpose in God's design, and how we should courageously face our mission, assured not by the constant presence of angels, but assured by the living Word, the Lord is with you. The Lord will assist you. And let me end the sharing with, I hope this is not sinful on my part. But since the Gospel is about the Annunciation, while reading through this, I recall also the Annunciation that happened to me. The Annunciation of my being named as Cardinal. And now I understand more what Mary underwent. Again, not because I am like Mary, far from it, but somehow the episodes in the Gospels relate to our own experiences. Some of you have heard this already, but let me recount it again. I was attending the Synod of Bishops in Rome, which was opened by the Pope on the 7th of October. And also within that Synod was the opening of the Year of Faith on the 11th of October. So I was there attending the Synod and really rendered busy by the affairs of the Synod. Then we Filipinos, we had to do some extra things or tasks for the canonization of San Pedro Canuso on the 21st of October. We had the triduum of Masses, then we had the vigil, the night before the canonization. So we were extremely busy but happy, really happy. Some people, some journalists even claim that maybe 1/3 of the crowd in the St. Peter's Square for the canonization was Filipino. Some would even say half of those who attended the ceremonies, was Filipino. That's the face of globalization, Filipino. So, back to the synod routine, the 22nd of October. And we, the Filipino bishops, 4 of us, we were taking it slowly. I myself, I told myself, maybe you can take a nap during the sessions. The Lord will forgive you. You got tired on account of the canonization. Then the 23rd of October, the morning session of the synod was a general session. So around 400 of us were in one hall. A seminarian approached me with a folded piece of paper. So I opened it, and there was a message. I was asked to call a number, a telephone number, during the coffee break. And that was 10:30, the coffee break. So 10:30 came, I went to the office, the nearest office, and dialed the number. It was the office of the Secretariat of State of the Vatican. So very close to the Pope. And the person told me, please come to the office at 4:50. 4:50 in the afternoon. Kayo ba ganyan makipag-appointment? See me at 4:43. See me at 4:38. See me at 4:50. Sabi ko, hindi pa ginawa 4:45 o in-exacto na lang 5 o'clock. No, 4:50. Okay. So I said, okay. So, report. But that afternoon, the synod would shift to small group discussions. So, at 4 o'clock, the beginning of the discussions, I approached the moderator of my group and told him that I would have to leave at around 4:30 to go to the Secretariat of State. That moderator was the Archbishop of Dublin, Ireland, Archbishop Martin. And I suddenly realized or recalled that he used to work in the Vatican Curia. So I asked him, hey, German, why is a bishop called to the Secretariat of State? For what reason? During the synod, you are called to different offices. But for example, if you are called to the congregation for the clergy, then most likely you will discuss matters about priests. Or if you're called to the congregation for bishops, then it must be something about bishops. But the Secretariat of State. So he told me, maybe the Pope will send you to Syria. But I did not laugh. I even said, yes, probably. Because the Pope had announced earlier that he would form a delegation from the synod bishops to go to Syria to express communion, solidarity, and all of those. But the week before that, I was part of a delegation that was sent by the synod to the city hall, synod in the city hall. So maybe we will represent the synod in Syria. So on my way to the office, I was already thinking of the planner, the organizer in me, started figuring out, do I need a visa to Syria? Do Filipinos need a visa? No? If I go to Syria, how do I change my flight schedule? No, should I fly back to Rome after Syria and use the same ticket? Or could I fly to Syria and then to Manila directly? So all of these things were already in my mind. Then one door opened. I was let in. It was a waiting room. And I read the newspapers. Another door opened. And I was let in. And there was the Secretary of State, Cardinal Tagle, who asked me to take a seat. And he said, in Italian, that the Holy Father has a letter for me and that he would read it to me. So he took the envelope, he opened the letter and started reading. The letter was written in Latin. Now, but if you're a bishop, you get many of these letters, so more or less you are familiar with the language and also the format. So yeah, it began with the normal way by which letters begin. And then comes that point where he will tell you what he asks of you. And when it reached that point, I even listened carefully. It was not Syria. It was about a consistorium to be held on the 24th of November. And it will be announced tomorrow. And before the announcement, it enjoys pontifical secrecy. So I cannot tell anyone about it. And he folded the paper again and put it in an envelope and said, congratulations. It will be a small group. He did not tell me who were the others. Then said, he will be a cardinal. He will collaborate with the Holy Father. I will now go to the Holy Father to tell him that you have been informed. Another door opens and I was let out. Rejoice. Full of grace. The Lord is with you. Congratulations. Oh, how lucky you are. Oh, how blessed you are. God bless you. Then the angel left you. And you walk alone. At least Mary was given the chance to ask some questions. That's the big difference. I had no opportunity to ask any question. But it is the same, basically the same. You tremble before the greeting, and you will spend a lifetime pondering in your heart, what has happened? What has happened? You will not fully understand, but you just trust. And you know it is not an honor, it is not an act of glorification. It is an act of servanthood. I am simply